Hi, and welcome. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a declutter. I do one about once a year at this point. I really haven't collected that much makeup in the past year, but I still feel like I've used enough of it to know that I'm getting rid of some of it. So I'll probably do this video in two parts like I did last time. The first part will probably just be blushes, bronzers, highlights, complexion. Second part is probably going to be eyeshadows and maybe lipsticks if I'm feeling up to it. I don't know, honestly. Lipsticks is kind of a lot, and I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for lipsticks. So turn on the notification bell for part 2 of the declutter. This is going to be part 1 of the declutter. And subscribe if you like being here. That would be nice. And like the video if you like the video. So go ahead and grab some popcorn, settle in. We're going to be here for a minute. Okay, hello. Hi, it's me again. So I was just going to show my collection at this point. See what we're getting rid of. This is what I'm planning on working on today. This is basically where I keep all of my blushes, highlights, powders, bronzers, foundations, complexion situation. And then also there's like some miscellaneous eyeshadow palettes, which I'm not getting rid of. And then I also have my makeup bag. If you watch my fall makeup bag video, you would know what's already in here. Not getting rid of that either. So I think I'm just gonna work on this stuff today and try and clear it out. It's kind of a mess. Really no clear organization whatsoever. It needs some help. So I think I'm going to take everything out of here and move it into my living room and we'll declutter there. Okay. Hello, we are now in the living room. So yeah, these are all the products. I just took them out, everything I'm going to be decluttering today. I think I'm just going to go ahead and take everything out and I'll start over here. Okay, so I'm first going to start with the foundations. I kind of have them loosely separated out by light coverage to more full medium coverage. And then also kind of by product type, if that makes sense. So just like these are in tubes, these are in bottles. I don't know why I care about that, but I do. So in total, I have 19 things of foundation. And if I exclude the duplicates, then I have 17. So quite a bit. Kind of too much. I don't really use all of them, and I should definitely try and get rid of at least about 20%. I feel like would be a good number for me. I guess let's go ahead and start with the ones that I'm for sure going to keep. For sure keeping these two, the Smashbox Halo Tinted Moisturizers. I really like these. They're actually really great light coverage foundations. All of these are light coverage. Everything else is kind of a little bit fuller coverage in this. So these two are by far my well, not favorite. I would actually say this one's my favorite. So these three I'm for sure keeping, Giorgio Armani and then the Smashbox Halos. I have two shades of these because I like it so much. Light and light medium, and then the Giorgio Armani is in shade 3.5. So I think I'm going to, I'm for sure keeping these three, no doubt about it. They're just my favorite of everything. So yeah. So the ones that I'm not too sure about in the light coverage situation is probably this Pure 4-in-1 Tinted Moisturizer. I got this in a BoxyCharm. The shade actually looks pretty good. It's the shade Medium 3. SPF 20, which I feel like isn't really worth it for a tinted moisturizer. That's not really that much coverage, and you definitely have to use something else anyway. And I just feel like the formula is just not special enough for me to actually reach for it and use it. Like the Smashbox Halo, but a little worse. So I think I'm actually going to get rid of this one. I think I'm going to keep this L'Oreal Age Perfect Serum Foundation. I think this one is for sure worth it. I have it in the shade Golden Beige 50. It actually fits my skin tone most of the year, so it's a good formula, and it also has an SPF of 50, which I feel like is just way more worth it for me. So I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna keep the Fenty ones. I know, unpopular opinion, I actually really like these. This is a hydrating formula. Lots of people don't. Lots of people prefer her newer skin drops, ease drops, skin tint, which I do like. I actually have that in my makeup bag right now, so that's why it's not here. But yeah, I like these two a lot as well. I have the shade 145 and then 235. I think 145 is my better match though. It's a light olive, and most ranges don't actually carry a light olive, so really nice. I'm gonna keep both of these. I think I will hold on to this one for a little bit longer. This is the Merit Skin Tint, or what is it called? Merit Complexion Stick. I have mine in the shade Camel. I just haven't tried it for very long. It's pretty new to me. They sent it over maybe about a month ago or so. So I still feel like I'm testing this one. I don't really feel like it's right for me to get rid of it right now. So that's kind of the reason I'm keeping it. Not necessarily recommending it, not necessarily not recommending it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on to this top row and still consider these two because I genuinely have no idea. I'll see what else I can get rid of. So looking at this right away, I want to keep these two. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation in the shade 70W, and then this one is a Bare Mineral Bare Pro in the shade Sandstone 16. They're both fairly medium to full coverage, and I really like that. They're probably my favorite out of the medium to full category, so keeping these two. All right, so one that I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of is this Honest Beauty foundation. I have mine in the shade Linen. I actually used to really like this foundation. As you can tell, I hit pan a long time ago. It actually was pretty easy to go through if I remember correctly. But this one, you can kind of use it as a concealer or a foundation. It works really well. The only reason I'm getting rid of it is because it kind of looks like it's expired. Like it's kind of getting, like the formula is kind of separating in a weird way. I bought this probably a year or maybe a year and a half ago. So it's definitely past its prime, I would say. Especially since this is a fairly clean beauty brand. Usually clean products don't last very long. So goodbye. These are all the ones that I feel kind of meh about. Like I could go either way really, which maybe I should just get rid of all of them. I don't know. I think I'm going to get rid of the Joi Truly Yours foundation. I never really loved this. I just kind of had it and I tried it and I was like, oh yeah, there it is. So I think it's for sure time to let this one go. I don't remember the last time I even reached for it. It's not exciting. It doesn't look special. It's just not worth it to me. So that one is also a goodbye. Okay, I decided I'm going to keep these two, the Rare Beauty and the number 7 Lift and Illuminate. I don't know, I think I'm going to try this one again. Let me just whip it out right now. I'm just going to see what it looks like. The texture is actually really, really nice. I'm going to keep it. I'm also keeping the Rare Beauty. I have this in the shade 180W. I think it's still good. Okay, I think it's time to let this one go. This is a Milani Screen Queen in the shade 130 Warm Linen. The foundation is just way too light, and then also it's discontinued, and I don't really like keeping products that are discontinued just because you can't really get them, it's hard to use them. Also, this application is like super, super messy. I don't know what's wrong with this pump, but it always leaks everywhere and it's really kind of gross. I've had this for about a year and a half and I've only used it maybe twice. So I think that's how you know it's time to let it go. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the rest of these. I don't really have any issues with any of them. They're not like my favorites, but they are definitely really good. And I kind of use them all for shade reasons, just because it is difficult to find a shade. So yeah, I'm going to keep all 4 of these. Okay, so next I'm going to do my primers. These are all of my primers. I like some of them, but I have noticed in the past few years, I just haven't been using primers nearly as much as I used to. They're just not really super necessary in my opinion. I think this is going to be pretty easy actually. I think I'm just going to get rid of these two. They're both kind of weird, like the texture is really weird and I think I should probably let them go. So the Milani Soft Focus Glow and then also the Honest Beauty Everything Glow Primer. I love this one, the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. The shade's really good. The glow is really good. It's not too shiny, but it's not nothing. So yeah, I really like it. These are pretty good. This one, the Vesca primer, I wouldn't recommend it. It kind of does not a lot, but I'm going to keep it just because I could use it up and I like the packaging. That's about it. These two are setting sprays, the Pixi Glow Mist and then also the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I don't really use setting sprays that much either, so these are probably going to be in my collection for quite some time. And then everything else I will keep. So I'm getting rid of 2 and keeping, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keeping 8. Okay, so finally out of the little complexion bin, I have my concealers and then also some kind of brightening things. I don't really know what to call these two. So right away, I know that I'm getting rid of my Kosas concealer. I have it in the shade 4. I actually really, really like this concealer. It's a little pricey and that's kind of why I don't really want to repurchase it, is because I don't really go through concealers very quickly and I like the cheap ones. I'm not gonna lie, the cheap ones are alright. This one, I just know it's expired. It smells really bad and it's definitely gone bad. So I do need to get rid of this one. Probably my favorite concealers out of these are the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Beige. And then also the Kaja Don't Settle Concealer in the shade Banana Milk. These two are my absolute favorite, and honestly everything else is kind of, I think it's time for me to get rid of the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Light Beige. Again, like I said, I like the hydrating formula better, and there's really no reason for me to keep the other one because they're kind of the same. The Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer, I wanted to test it out to see how the formula was, and I do really like the formula, but the shade is really off, so I think I should probably get rid of this one as well. This is in the shade Light Honey. I think this was one of the warmer colors that they have, so I just think that maybe the whole line may be too pink for me. And then finally the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer. I think I have this in the shade Light Bisque. I really like the formula on this one as well. And the shade is a little off, but not too far off that I can't use it. So I think I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep these three, get rid of these three. I really should get rid of this. This is the Marc Jacobs Moonlit Glow Away. It's kind of just like I use it as like a primer situation. It's also could be used as a liquid highlight. It's actually really pretty. It's like a pink iridescent highlight. I just never reach for it. It doesn't really do enough for me. I bought it on sale, which is why I have it, and now I'm just like, why did I buy that? Like I didn't need that. Getting rid of that. I am going to keep this Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand. It's like a glowy, it's kind of like the Charlotte Tilbury, but it's smaller and easier to travel with. So I actually like this a lot. I don't reach for it super often. Like if I'm in a hurry, this obviously is the first to go, but I think it's really nice. Next I'm going to declutter my highlighters and blushes. So let me just go ahead and take everything out. These are all the highlighters, blush lighters, blushes, lots of glowy things, honestly. So where should I start? I guess I'll naturally start with the highlighters first. So these are my liquid highlighters. I have 3 of them. My favorite by far is the Iconic London Illuminator. It is so pretty. I recently got obsessed with this again. I don't know, it's just the color of it. It's actually really good. So I don't know if you can see that, but this is what it looks like. It's super pretty. And I feel like it goes with everything. It doesn't really disturb any makeup underneath. I've used it with all of my foundations. It looks beautiful. That's for sure a keeper. The one thing I'm not sure about is how it compares to this Eloise Get Gleaming Body Glow Illuminator. I don't really use body glow situations, mostly because I have nowhere to go. Like, who do I think I am? I don't know. I think it is really pretty. I've used it only a handful of times, so I don't really think I've really given it a fair chance. So this one is the Iconic London, and this one is the Eloise. I think the Eloise one is a little more subtle, and yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one as well. I mean, there's no reason to get rid of it, really. It's really nice. My third highlighter, I'm just not sure about. This is the Rare Beauty in the shade Mesmerize, so it's the pinky one. I feel like lots of people love this highlighter, and I just don't know why it looks weird on me. Definitely different than the other 3, but I just don't know. I just don't know. I'll think about it. This is a maybe for now. So moving on to the powdered highlighters, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them kind of. I have a couple of highlighters in my everyday makeup bag that obviously I'm not getting rid of. That includes the Becca Champagne Pop highlighter, and then also the other Nabla highlighter that I have in the shade Ozone. One of them that I think I'm pretty sure I'm getting rid of is this Ofra highlighter. This is in the shade Pillow Talk. It's just way too light for me. I actually really love the Ofra highlighter formula. I have it in a face palette, and this one is just like so blue and light that it doesn't really work out on me. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. So one that I'm keeping is the Zoeva highlighter. This is in the shade Surreal. It's also a pinky kind of highlighter, kind of more peachy now that I look at it. It's really pretty, and actually makes your skin look so shiny and wet. It's really smooth too. So I'm going to keep this one. I feel like this is one a lot of people don't talk about either. It's super pretty. Let's look at the Wet n Wild ones. So I have 2 Wet n Wild highlighters. One is in the shade Golden Flower Crown, and this other one is in the shade Precious Petals. So Precious Petals, Golden Flower Crown. I really like both of them. The highlighter formula is actually really smooth, and I don't think they look like too similar to any of the other ones. So I'll keep both of those. So I recently picked up this Nabla Skin Glazing Powder in the shade Privilege. This is the peachy one. And yeah, even that one looks kind of different. I will keep that one. This next one is the Essence Pure Nude. Also keeping that one. It looks really pretty. It just like looks, they all look different to me. I don't know if it's just me or am I crazy? Like this one looks different to me. And then this last one, I'm genuinely not sure of. This is the Vesca highlight in the shade Wish. It's kind of the more golden one. This one, I don't really reach for this one as much as I reach for the other ones. I think I actually will get rid of this one. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think it looks too similar to the Wet n Wild one, and I think I prefer the Wet n Wild over this one. So yeah, that kind of makes me sad, honestly. I actually used to really like this, but it just kind of isn't as special to me anymore. So I'm also going to get rid of this one. Okay, so the last little section of this little basket thing that it was organized in is the blushes. I think right away I'm going to get rid of this Chastique cream blush. This is in the shade Moroccan Rose. It's just difficult to use and doesn't really look that good. It's one of the matte cream blushes and it's just not as good as my other ones. So I'm for sure going to get rid of this one. This one is really unique. This is a Fenty cream blush in the shade Daiquiri Dip. This is a super red blush. The other ones, let's see. So I have Patrick Ta in the shade She's So LA. I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep that one. And then 3 Honest Beauty blushes. I like all 3 of them. Kind of, I don't know. I just can't really see myself getting rid of these ones. So you can tell that all 5 of these cream blushes are fairly different. This is the Melt Cream Blush in the shade Lynx. I'm absolutely not getting rid of that one. That one's so pretty. So I kind of have like a nudie blush, a coral blush, a rose blush, a plum blush, a red blush, and then a brown blush. So they're all very different, and I think I got all of my bases covered. This last cream blush is the Nudies Matte Cream Blush in the shade In the Nude. It's fairly similar, I would say, to the rose blush, just kind of, it's kind of like in between these two. So it's more orange than the rose, but less orange than this one. So yeah, I would say it's different enough, but it is a little redundant. If I was to get rid of any of them, it would be this one. I think I like it enough to keep all of them. So there's that. Keeping all of these because they're pretty good. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly swatch all of these and then come back with my final thoughts on who's leaving the group today. Okay, so have some thoughts. Lots of really similar colors in here. I think I'm going to pull out the standouts just because that would kind of visually help. So I am not getting rid of my Essence blushes. They're really thin, very cute, and actually really, really good quality blushes. These 2 are both matte blushes. I'm keeping both of these. These 2 are also standouts. So this is where the Essence ones are. And this is where the other 2 are that I'm pulling out. So the Nabla Skin Glazing in the shade Truth. It's kind of like a blush light, so very glowy. And I just think it looks really pretty. It's this one right here. I don't know if you can tell. It's And then this other blush that I'm taking out is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blush in the shade Faded Clementine. So it's a very orangey blush and very different from the rest of them. So I will keep these 4. These 5 are kind of very similar to one another. So I think I'm gonna for sure get rid of this Wet n Wild blush. This is in the shade Nudist Society. I just don't really like the formula of this one at all. It's very smooth whenever you touch it. It's just kind of like very powdery as well and really falls apart on the face. So I just feel like this is too messy to really use reliably. I think if you were looking for an affordable blush, I would actually prefer the Essence over this one. And the color's just not special enough to really keep. So this one, it's time to let go of. I'm also going to let go of the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Rosa Romantica. It's actually just too light for me. It's on my weird little wrist area right here. So it's very, very light and kind of ashy on my skin tone. It looks very blue. And it's just not very flattering, so I need to get rid of that one. This is my oldest blush in my entire collection, probably the oldest piece of makeup in my entire collection. It's the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Rose d'Oreo, I believe it's how you say it. It's very, very old. I don't even know if they sell this shade anymore, but I'm about to hit pan and I just don't want to give up on it yet. I know the formula is very different now that I've gotten towards the bottom. It's a little dustier and hard to pick up, but I think I'm in it for the long haul with this one. I think I'm gonna keep this one. The last two I have are the Burt's Bees blush in the shade Fresh Apricot, and then the Balm and Stain blush in the shade Swiss Dot. So these are the two in the middle. So I'm in a tough spot because I like the formula of the Balm better, but I like the color of Burt's Bees better. They're very similar, but I can definitely tell a difference between the Balm and then the Burt's Bees one. The Burt's Bees blush feels a little ashier, feels much more dusty to pick up, which I don't love, and the In-Stain one feels a little smoother and creamier to the touch. So those are the difference between the two. I don't need to keep both because they look the exact same. James, which one looks better to you? Okay, so it's this one or this one?
Oh, those are the same.
I think I am gonna go with the Balm just because they look so similar and I do prefer the formula better. So sorry. So this is the last category. This is like face powders, bronzers, and that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take everything out and try and get rid of some of these. Okay, so I actually found this Becca Under Eye Corrector in this kind of category. I think it can go into the concealer foundation situation because that's probably where it should go. I'm keeping this one and I'm moving it to the concealer situation. So I have 8 bronzers and then 7 powders. So I think I'm gonna start by swatching the bronzers and then I will come back. So I swatched out all of my bronzers. You can't really tell the difference honestly, so I feel like I'm not even gonna bother with that. Overall, formula-wise, these ones on the top row are definitely the lighter bronzers, just kind of just like a light dusting of bronze. And then the ones on the bottom row are the ones that are kind of a little bit more heavy duty, like you could actually see more of a presence. I'm for sure keeping these two. These are more yellow based and really work out for my skin. So this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer and then the Vesca bronzer in the shade Santorini. So I really like both of these. Out of the other more heavy duty ones, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this Aesthetica bronzer. It's in the shade Sunset. I just don't really use it. I don't really reach for it that often. I already don't really reach for bronzers that often, so I feel like I shouldn't hold on to something that I really only use like once a year maybe. So this one has got to go. Of the top row, I really like the Nabla bronzing powders. I have 2 shades, one for a lighter skin tone and then one for a darker skin tone. So I have the shade Dune and then Amber. Amber is the lighter of the two. Kind of just a winter summer option. So I'll keep both of those. And they're different from these ones because these are again like a heavier bronze and these are just like a lighter dusting. Of the other 2 lighter ones, I need to get rid of the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. I actually really like the formula. It's kind of more of a glowy bronzer. I just got a shade that doesn't work for me. So this is in the shade Ticket to Brazil. It almost shows up just like a regular powder on my skin. It doesn't even look like a bronzer to me. And then I'm also keeping the Fenty bronzer. This is the only cream bronzer that I have in my collection right now. And I do actually really like it. This is in the shade Macchiato. Really great shade on my skin tone. And I will be keeping those. So moving on to the powders, I'm for sure getting rid of this Bare Minerals concealer. This is in the shade Well Rested. This is like a powder concealer and I feel like every single time I've used it, it looks absolutely hideous under my under eyes. I don't know who would use this as a concealer. Maybe it's for the rest of the face, but definitely for the under eyes it's a no, and that's kind of the only reason I bought it. So I just feel like don't waste your money. It's kind of like sticky. It's like a weird sticky powder. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. So I gotta get rid of this one. I have 2 loose powders and then 4 pressed powders. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the pressed ones just to see what they're looking like. Okay, so that was really easy. This is gonna be a pretty easy decision. So I love the Kosas powder. This is in the shade Breezy, for sure not getting rid of it. I like the CoverGirl Cream Fresh powder and then also the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I feel like Fit Me is actually a better texture if you are comparing the two. I like the texture of Fit Me better, but I actually like the compact of the CoverGirl one better. It's just really nice and small and has a mirror, so I feel like this is kind of more travel friendly and just friendly in general. I will keep all 3 just because I do use powders regularly enough that I think I could use all 3. I'm getting rid of the Ofra powder. This is the banana powder. It's a yellow powder, which I do really like. The top is kind of forming like a weird little crusty situation. I don't know if you can see that. It just looks like really hideous and I don't really like the idea of putting that on my face. So I'm gonna get rid of that one, sadly. And then finally, these 2 powders. I have the Honest Beauty Loose Invisible Blurring Powder. This is a little yellow, so it's kind of only used for the summer for me, but I do really like it. It is really good at blurring. And then the other one is the Fenty Banana Powder. I also really like this, but again, it's yellow, it's the banana shade, and I can only use it during the summer. So I'll be keeping these. Is that everything? Oh my god, I think that's everything. Okay, so that is everything that I'm decluttering in the complexion, highlighters, bronzers, blush situation. Yeah, got rid of a lot of things that I wasn't actually expecting to get rid of, if I'm being honest. Like, anyway, I just feel like it's good to always go through your things, make sure you're using everything. This is the final goodbye tour of these things. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching this video if you made it all the way to the end. And I'll see you at sometime next week for part 2. Bye! But is it still too dark though? I'm really hungry. You can go ahead.
Okay. I don't make noise. I'll get kisses. You want kisses?
Ooh! Yeah, I'll take one.